Namaste and good evening, everybody. Today we are very happy and proud and we feel privileged to welcome a visiting Swami. We're always very happy when Swamis come visiting. And Swami has come from our Vedanta Centre in Dublin, Ireland, which is especially dear to us because that's the birthplace of Sister Nivedita, Margaret Noble, who was very central into his Swami Vivekananda's disciple, and she was central in spreading Swami Vivekananda's message, and tremendous amount of work she did for India. I requested Swami G to give this class. You will see why when he gives the talk, and then the usual Q&A also will be there. A special request. Maharaj has been in Dublin for 4 years and is struggling to establish that center, and it really could use some financial help. So what we are going to do is, today's collection, whatever you can donate, we will donate to the Vedanta Society in Dublin. So be generous. I'm reminded of, this is a good time to tell the joke. In California, in one church, the pastor was this lady, and she told us this joke. She said that at the end of the year, the $50 note and the $10 note and the $1 note, they started dollar bill. They were discussing, how did the year go? How did it go for you? And the $50 bill said, oh, nothing much. I stayed in the bank. Mostly I was in Wells Fargo. Then the $10 bill said, oh, I went from Costco, gas station, all these places I visited so many places. What about you? And the $1 bill said, oh, I went from church to church to church. Everybody just keeps donating me. So don't be like that. And I know everybody doesn't walk around with cash these days. If you can, please do. If you don't but make a commitment to go back home, go online to the Vedanta Society in Dublin and make a donation there. All right. So my financial matters aside, let me just introduce Swamiji. Swami Shantivratananda is a monk of the Ramakrishna Order, currently serving as the minister in charge of the Ramakrishna Vedanta Centre in Dublin, Ireland. Before this, he served for 2 decades at the Ramakrishna Math Centres in Bengaluru and Mysuru in India, where he played a significant role in youth programs and various other service activities. Inspired by the life and teachings of the Holy Trio, Swamiji started treading his austere journey and underwent various rigorous training in Sanskrit, Vedic chanting, meditation, ritualistic workshops. He was initiated by most revered Swami Ranganathananda Ji Maharaj and initiated into monastic vows by most revered Swami Atmasthananda Ji Maharaj. Swamiji is a distinguished scholar and philosopher. He was awarded a PhD from the University of Mysuru for his thesis titled Swami Vivekananda's Concept of Man, an Analytical Study. During his post-graduation, he secured the first rank at the university, and he got a gold medal for that. He has contributed over 50 research articles to reputed journals. He has also authored a number of philosophical books, including Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Educational Philosophy of Gandhiji, Swami Tagishananda, other books, Shashivayali Sagara, Volumes 1 and 2, Pavari Baba, a book on Dr. Radhakrishnan in Kannada. Additionally, he writes for the Karnataka newspapers as a columnist. Several prestigious universities in India have invited him to present papers and deliver talks. Swamiji has also participated in numerous media panel discussions on religion and spirituality, particularly on Kannada TV channels. His outreach extends beyond academia. He's traveled widely to address youth. By one estimate, he has addressed over 100,000 youth in India and various programs altogether on personality development, Indian culture, stress management, ethics, all of that. He is a well-known motivational speaker, versatile scholar of Indian philosophy and scriptures. He regularly conducts classes on the Bhagavad Gita, on Advaita philosophy, mind management, meditation, and related subjects. Since he arrived in Ireland, he has traveled to various countries in Europe and beyond, and now the United States. He's on his first journey. This is his second stop. He first went to Washington, D.C., and now he's here. And he gives classes in the Ramakrishna Vedanta Centre in Dublin. Classes are live streamed on the centre's YouTube channel, making them accessible to a global audience. Swami Shantivratananda continues to inspire and guide individuals through his teachings, writings, and public engagements, significantly contributing to the dissemination of Vedanta and the teachings of Swami Vivekananda worldwide. And especially here, this is Swami Vivekananda Centre. He started this. This is the first Vedanta society. And so we are especially happy to welcome him. And Swamiji would be happy because he's coming from the country of Sister Nivedita from Ireland. And he was telling us there are actually more Irish people here in the United States than there are in Ireland. Swami Shantivratananda Ji, Maharaj, please come.
O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Revered Swami Sarvapriyananda Maharaj and dear devotees, Namaste. Though I have given quite a few lectures in India and abroad, no doubt, but today I am feeling a bit shivering. Why, Because our Acharya is sitting in front of me. So Maharaj taught us a Vedanta Sara and lecture from Colombo to Almora, a few other subjects in the training center. So you can very well imagine, like when we got a PhD thesis and we have to, in the Viva, we have to present our views in front of the lecturers or the professors who have taught us the subject. Definitely we'll feel little nervous or shivering. So probably I'm feeling same thing here. But giving his, encouragement and confidence and etc., definitely I'll be trying to discuss maybe a few ideas which already most of you, from the Gospel of Ramakrishna. It is the chapter Master and the Keshav, February. Brahma devotee. Sir, can't we realize God without complete enunciation? Master with a laugh. Of course you can. Why should you renounce everything? You are all right as you are, following the middle path, like molasses partly solid and partly liquid. Do you know the game of knacks? Having scored the maximum number of points, I am out of the game. I can't enjoy it. But you are very clever. Some of you have scored 10 points, some 6 and some 5. You have scored just the right number. So you are not out of the game like me. The game can go on. What? That is fine. Everyone is laughing. So it is actually telling to Keshav Chandra Sen. I tell you the truth. There is nothing wrong in your being in the world, but you must direct your mind towards God. Otherwise, you will not succeed. Do your duty with one hand, and with the other, hold to God. After the duty is over, you will hold to God with both the hands. It is all a question of the mind. Bondage and liberation are of the mind alone. The mind will take the color you dye it with. It is like white clothes just returned from the laundry. If you dip them in red dye, they will be red. If you dip them in blue or green, they will be blue or green. They will take only the color you dip them in, whatever it may be. Have not you noticed that? If you read a little English, you at once begin to utter English words. Foot, fit, meet. Then you put on boots and whistle a tune, and so on, it all goes together. Or, if a scholar studies Sanskrit, he will at once rattle off Sanskrit verses. If you are in bad company, then you will talk and think like your companions. On the other hand, when you are in the company of devotees, you will think and talk only of God. The mind is everything. A man has his wife on one side and his daughter on the other. He shows his affection to them in different ways, but his mind is one and the same. Bondage is of the mind, and freedom is also of the mind. A man is free if he constantly thinks, I am a free soul. How can I be bound, whether I live in the world or in the forest? I am a child of God, the King of kings. Who can bind me? If bitten by a snake, a man may get rid of its venom by saying emphatically, there is no poison in me. In the same way, by repeating with grit and determination, I am not bound, I am free, one really becomes so, one really becomes free. So these are the few things I would like to discuss. If you see, whoever has read Sankhya Karika, in the Sankhya Karika, the opening verse itself tells very clearly. Why should study Sankhya Karika? Sankhya Karika is the original text or the preliminary text on the Sankhya philosophy, the ancient philosophy in the Indian wisdom. They tell very clearly, because there are three types of sufferings. So to get rid of the suffering, to overcome the suffering, one has to make the inquiry into the truth, or one has to make the inquiry into the knowledge. So the Buddha's teachers were also Sankhyans, Sankhya teachers. That's where even the Arisattani, the Four Noble Truths, if you remember. So there also, they start with that. Dukkha, there is an existence of suffering, no doubt. And Samudaya, that is, there is a cause of suffering. And the third is Nirodha, there is a path which helps us to get rid of suffering. And what is that path? Eightfold path or Ashtanga Marga. So many times we also think when we are in the world, like when we are taken care by the worldly afflictions and worldly desires or worldly success, we may not think many times. But certain emotional maturity, certain spiritual maturity when we get, we start thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing? What is the truth? And also on and so forth. And especially when we come to Vedanta, our spiritual life, our best devotees, immediately we start thinking the world is full of miseries. The world is full of problems. And many times when people come to counseling, I keep observing this. Most of us, we all complain. The world has got problem. Our husband says with wife, wife says about husband, our parents about children, children about parents and colleagues and whatnot. So the one common point we all notice, or we all probably say that the problem is outside. Either in a person, or in the country, or in a thing, or whatnot. In 2021, when I came to Ireland, in December, probably in mid-December, a devotee was asking, Swami G, how are you? I said, I am fine. Then he said, how can you be fine? I said, why? What wrong? There is no problem. No, because it's like morning 8:30 you are getting a sunrise, and 4:30 or 4 just sunset, and sun is a luxury for Ireland. So monthly once or twice we see sun in the winter. So very gloomy days. So most of the people, we go to stress and strain and whatnot. And you are saying that you are fine. How can you be fine in Ireland, that with the gloomy weather? That was his approach or his thinking. I said, look, yes, Ireland is known, it is a green emerald, no doubt, it's a beauty. It is known for its natural beauty, scenic beauty. But at the same time, we know that we don't get sun here. So knowing that, you have to accept and you have to go ahead. Instead of that, if you keep on thinking or brooding on this, simply will be suffering. Then it was a great revelation for him. That's what he expressed. So like this, we always try to see the problem in the situation or in the people or in the thing or in a person. And we always think, if he becomes all right, if she becomes all right, if the situation becomes all right, I can be happy. This is a one side of approach. The other approach is the world is full of problems or sufferings or challenges or obstacles. So I want to get rid of the problem. That is attain moksha or attain mukti. This is a one type of approach. Now here Master is giving a very interesting and which is a Vedantic or based on the Vedas and Vedantic or Upanishadic approach. What is saying that we have to live in the world, of course. So, but living in the world is not a problem, but if the worldliness is in us, if it is in our mind, then only the problem. He's making a very interesting and very profound statement actually, because we all live in the world. Now we have to live in the world, we are all living in the world. And Sri Ramakrishna says, living in the world is not a problem. Worldliness should not be in our mind. That is where the root cause of suffering, root cause of the problem. Now how to understand this? Sri Ramakrishna gives a very simple and again, simple and profound example, the boat and the water. When the boat is in the water, no problem. Boat has to be in the water, otherwise no use of boat, of course. But if water enters the boat, then the problem is slowly the boat sinks. So similarly, when we are in the world, or in the family, or with people and etc., there is no problem. Sri Ramakrishna says that, so remove that worldliness. Now what is that worldliness here? In the Sri Ramakrishna's language, if you want me to say, 2-3 things which comes to my mind. One, he says that ripened ego and unripened ego, he makes a statement, which most of us, whoever read gospel, we know that. So the ripened ego is what? Selfishness. One understanding, according to me, the unripened ego is what? Selfishness. Ripened ego. Unripened ego is what? Unselfishness. That is a one. Sorry. Okay. Unripened ego is selfishness and ripened ego is please take it properly. So that's the one thing. And the other way of understanding for me was, one is the love and attachment. We should all love people, but we should not attach to people. So worldliness, what do we mean? So love versus attachment. This is one more shade of meaning for this worldliness, whatever Sri Ramakrishna is saying. The second thing which we shall try to understand. Now, how to remove this worldliness? What is worldliness and how to remove this worldliness? Sri Ramakrishna gives a, again, very simple, practical solution for us. One is, hold on to God. Hold on to God. He gives an example like a pillar. When we are in India and all, we used to hold the pillar and we used to go around the pillar. So when we are holding the pillar intact, then there is no problem. The moment we leave the pillar, then we'll fall. So like that, you hold on in one hand, you hold on to the God. In the other hand, you keep on working in the world. There is no problem, he says. He gives a very practical teaching for all of us. And the other is, try to live like a housemaid or a maid servant in the world. So these are the practical suggestions or practical very profound examples or teachings as given by Master. If we can put into practice, then definitely wherever we are, we can be happy at all given point of times. Now, the love versus attachment. Many times we see, oh, I loved my husband, I loved my wife, I loved my children, our friends, our XYZ. Because of some reasons, I am suffering. We think that. But if you really seriously think, because of loving people, we are not suffering. Because we have attached to people or we have attached to things, that's why we are suffering. Now, in the Kandana Vamandana Vesper service we sing every day, there, Sri Ramakrishna has been defined by Swami Vivekananda as Karuna Pathar and Prema Pathar. He is the embodiment of compassion and he is the embodiment of love. Now, Sri Ramakrishna descended on this earth, we all know that. What was he supposed to get? He didn't want anything. There was no want and there was no requirement for anything, but still he took the human birth. Why? Because he loved the humankind, he loved the humanity. That's why he underwent all that cancer or whatever, and just to uplift us. He loved us, but he was never attached. Even he tells to Mathurnath Vishwas once, you love me, but don't attach to me. Even he says to Mathurnath Vishwas, love me, but don't attach to me. So what is this love? If you ask, in Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada beautifully he defines it. The love is nothing but Parama Prema Swarupa. The devotion, the nature of devotion is what? Of the supreme love again. So the devotion and the love both are nothing but synonyms. So we should start loving the people and we should not attach to people. Then how to understand this? Again, one more example I'll give, then you'll make understand. Swami Tyagishananji, he was the head of the Bengaluru Ramakrishna Math for a long time. And he was known as a great advanced yogi, and also the people who have seen him, they all feel that they think that he was a realized person. And he was also from the princely family, from the Travancore princely family. He was also initiated by Swami Brahmanji. Once he was walking in the monastery, in the Bengaluru monastery, a devotee, he comes and he makes pranams and he asks, Swamiji, if you don't mind, I would like to ask a question. Then he said, all right, go ahead. Swamiji, this is something with a personal in nature, so if you should not mind it. Swami Tagishanji said, never mind, go ahead. Swamiji, I see, because he's from South India now, so that's where cultural context. We all eat idli dosa, and you also eat idli dosa, morning breakfast. And afternoon, sambar, rice and yogurt, we eat, and you also eat same thing. And I also maintain accounts. You also in the ashrama maintain accounts. Yes, I am married and you are unmarried. Except that I don't find any difference. Because I also take an initiation and I also spend good amount of time in japa, meditation and etc. And you also being a monk, you also do it and you might do a little more. But otherwise, I don't really find any difference. And it is my sincere question. I'm not putting you down or with any other thing. So just I had this question, sincere question. Will you mind to answer me? Swami Tegashanji, he listened to everything and he said, yes, my dear. Whatever you are saying, you are all right, everything. Like I also eat upma or idli dosa, you also eat upma, idli dosa. And I also maintain accounts, you also maintain accounts. You work in a house or office, I work in ashrama, all the things fine. But now say tomorrow, I get in those days, 15 paisa postcard. I get a postcard from the headquarters, Bengaluru. Dear Swami Tagishananda, we are happy that you served the particular center for a long time, enough time, fine. Such and such Swami is coming, hand over and please come back. I receive a postcard. Then whoever Swami they tell and I hand over and just in a bag I will leave. Yes, fine. What about you? Oh, Swamiji, how can I come? I have my family, I have my bank balance and I have my property and I have my business, establishments, so on and so forth. He said, see, these were the differences. Externally, we are doing the same work. Our external lifestyle may be same thing, but internally, there is no attachment to any of these things. That is the reason this is the difference fundamental difference between you and me. He tried to explain. So many times, we have to understand that. So, he loved the people. He helped so much. He started even Vidyarthi Mandiram, the hostel for boys. In those days, the World War had started. A lot of boys had so much problem and poverty was there and money was not there. But still he went and he begged and he got some money and he started a hostel for boys so that their education can be, taken care for the boys and all. And so many things he did. Basically, ashrama took a very good shape during his tenure. He loved people, he loved the mankind, he loved God, no doubt. But he did all the work, but he was never attached. As a result, he never suffered. And he had then afterwards, finally at the frag end of his life, because of the TB, tuberculosis, he had his health deteriorated and he was admitted into hospital. In those days, medical things were not very good or better. So he had joints and slowly he started getting dislocated. As a result, they had put a plaster of Paris half of his body. He was unable to even turn the other side. But he was happy. Swami Vibhudanji, who was the senior monk where I joined in the Alsur, he was there and he was telling, because he was on the deathbed and Maharaj Vibhudanji was serving Tagishanji. He says, even at the deathbed he was happy and he was unable to turn and there was so much pain we could understand that. Even doctors also used to express. But he was happy, he was so composed, so peaceful. And while just passing away, he made a comment that I am able to see the Upanishadic mantras in the golden letters. And he made a statement and repeating some Upanishadic mantra, he left his mortal coil. Now you see, he loved the mankind. He from the princely family he was coming and all. He started our Trishur ashrama and he donated entire ashrama to the Belur Math and he joined the monastery and all. But he loved the people, that's why he did so much work and all. But he was never attached. And interestingly, if you see in the master's life itself, we know the greater part of the master's life or Sri Ramakrishna's life, where it was in Dakshineshwar. We all know that. Once he left Dakshineshwar and he came to Kashipur for the medical reason, if you read in between lines, either the Gospel of Ramakrishna or the Leela Prasanga, the Ramakrishna and his divine play or the Ramakrishna Great Master, he has mentioned about Mother Kali and all, but he never mentions about Dakshineshwar. Why? He loved Dakshineshwar, no doubt, but he was never attached. If you read in between lines, very, very carefully, if you observe, he remembers Mother Kali, no doubt. He remembers he used to speak about Mother Kali and different, etc. But he never mentions in that last 6 or 7 months or 8 months, he never mentions about Dakshineshwar. This is one of the greatest examples for we can understand how he was detached. And he loved every one of us. He loved the entire humankind. He loved the entire mankind. And he received the sins of the people and etc. etc. And when doctor has mentioned that you should not talk more because you have got throat cancer and all. But he never cared. He was go on speaking. Because not of restlessness or because of the weakness. Because of the love and compassion towards the people or mankind. But at the same time, he was completely detached. Even very interestingly, if you see in the life of Krishna also. Krishna, we all know that his childhood days was in Vrindavan. And afterwards he came, when Kamsa summoned him, he went and he killed, slain Kamsa and he was there. Afterwards he went to Dwaraka and all. Now if you see the distance between Vrindavan and Mathura, it is just 3 or 4 kilometers. From Mathura he went to Hastinapur, which is in Delhi and other places. Or Indraprastha, Hastinapur is much more in the UP higher places. And he went to Dwaraka and so many places he went, but he never went to Vrindavan. It is not that he wanted or he didn't want anything. Once he left. And there was no attachment. That's what the love and attachment, just I wanted to make you the difference. He loved gopis. He loved his mother Yashoda. He loved Vrindavan. He loved Mathura and etc. etc. But he was never attached to any of them. So that's what we have to understand. We should love people. And to love people, how to do that? Loving God. That's where Sri Ramakrishna says, hold on, in one hand you hold on the God, in one hand you start working. Why? Because once you start loving the God, that is the highest, substratum where we can lean upon. Why? Because our mind is like a creeper. Creeper needs some support. Either you give a pillar or the wall or something it needs for its sustenance. So similarly, mind is like a creeper. It needs some support. That's where Sri Ramakrishna says, if you give the worldly person's company, then what happens? Your mind keeps on thinking about the worldly things. If you get a devotee's company, then knowingly or unknowingly, you will start thinking about the God and the spirituality and the etc. etc. So whatever you feed your mind, so that's what it happens. And everything is in mind, Sri Ramakrishna beautifully tells. So there, if you start feeding the God to your mind, and if you start holding on to the God by loving, then what happens? You can see that same God in everyone. And in everything, Ishavasya Idam Sarvam, as Upanishad puts, then what happens? You will not be attached to the world, you will not be attached to people, you will not be attached to things, but at the same time, we can love people, we can love the world, we can love the things, and we can help the people, and we can live the happiest life. So that's what the difference between love versus attachment. So living in the world is not a problem, but the worldliness should not be in us. That's what the meaning. And one more aspect, as I was saying, ripened ego and unripened ego. Now, when we attach ourselves to the body, I am the mind, or with the thoughts, or with the emotions, or with my achievements, and etc., etc., that is what unripened ego, which causes bondage, which causes suffering. And when it comes to the ripened ego, nothing will be there. So, it reminds me a story. 2 people approached a guru that the first fellow asked, "Sir, how can I get rid of suffering?" He said, "It is very simple." The fellow said, "Sir, all you great people, you say everything is simple, but for us it is not simple. Please let me know the truth. Please let me know the path, how to get rid of the suffering." See, what was your question? How can I get rid of the suffering? Isn't it? The answer is in your question only. Then he started scratching his head. "Sir, what do you mean by that? You said, how can I get rid of suffering? So get rid of the tie, then the suffering, you can get rid of the suffering. So get rid of the tie, then you'll be able to get rid of the suffering." Then he started thinking. Then his friend, he asked, "Sir," it was an interesting question. The second fellow asked, "Sir, how can I be happy at all times?" The first fellow asked, "How can I get rid of the suffering?" And the second fellow is asking, "Sir, how can I be happy at all times?" He said, experience that you can be happy at all times. It is like tautology, isn't it? It is a very self-contradictory. First question he's telling, get rid of the I, you can get rid of the suffering. And for second person or second aspirant is telling, experience that I, you can be happy at all times. Both started scratching their heads. Then said, sir, probably this teacher doesn't know the answer. That's why he's confusing. Because either convinced or confused, isn't it? So he's trying to confuse us. Both started scratching their heads and they started looking towards teacher. I think teacher doesn't know. I think we came in a wrong place. So something they were thinking. Then the teacher understood. Then he started explaining. See, in the first question, you said, how to get rid of the suffering, or how can I get rid of the suffering? Why am I suffering? Because of the ignorance. What is that ignorance? Because I am thinking that I am the body, I am the mind, I am son of so-and-so, I am daughter of so-and-so, I did this work, I did that work, people are not recognizing me, or people are not noticing my efforts or my contribution or whatever. So basically that I is refined or I is confined to my body, mind, thoughts or actions or emotions. But in reality, who am I? I am the self, which we all know that. So because of that ignorance or because of the wrong attachment, that's why I am suffering. So get rid of that I, you can be happy at all times. Then what was the second question? How can I be happy at all times? So he said, experience that I, you can be happy at all times. So what is that experience that I? So this I is referring to the self. This I is referring to Atman or Brahman or whatever. So experience that, then you can be happy at all times. So I need not to go for, especially in Newark and yesterday and today, Maharaj took me in so many places. There are so many places where we can enjoy, we can have a sense gratification and etc. etc. We can have all that, no doubt. At some point of time, we feel that there is a limitation here. So that's what Vedanta says, Shunvantu Vishve Amrutasya Putraha. You are that son of immortal bliss. Please listen. You are the heir of immortal bliss. That Ananda, that happiness is in me. Again, it is not an object. It is something I and that happiness are not two different things. I and the Ananda or bliss, both are one and the same. It is my nature. I am that bliss. So experience that, then you can experience that I, you can be happy at all times. So this is such a great, profound truths has been explained by Master in a very simple, language and giving a day-to-day examples. Which also reminds me of my own teacher, that is Swami Ragnathanji. Once he was traveling, and he and a few other monks, they were traveling. Because of some reason in between, they had to stop in one. And for more than 24 hours they were traveling, and Maharaj had a bad health and bad stomach. As a result, his food was very restricted food he had to take. And quite a few hours he didn't have any food and all. As a result, he was feeling tired. Other monks were also feeling a bit physically exhausted, and they were sitting on the platform in the railway station. Suddenly, the station master came to know that Ragnathanji and some other monks have come and they are waiting for the next train. And he had heard about Swami Ragnathanji and all. He came running. And he did pranam and he said, Maharaj, I was aware of you and I am very fan of you and etc. I am very happy to see you. I am blessed and all. He said, Maharaj, okay. He said, then Maharaj, anyhow, because he is a station master, he knows about train timings and all. He said, Maharaj, your train takes anyhow 1 hour, more than 1 hour. If you don't mind, can you give a small talk? Now other monks are getting furious. This fellow, even he didn't have a common courtesy whether you had your food or not. We are all feeling hungry and we are all feeling exhausted. This fellow should have asked food for us. He didn't ask food. And how are you? Do you want water? Do you want food? Something. He didn't ask either for Maharaj or for us. Instead of that, he's directly asking. He has taken us for granted and asking, can you give a small talk so that I can arrange people, pull people and all. So they were all getting a bit furious and annoyed or whatever. But Swami Ragnathanji said, yes, all right, you arrange. Then he took 10-15 minutes and whomever nearby is like railway staff and all, he pulled them. And Maharaj gave some half an hour talk and all. They were all very happy. They were all very inspired and all. Then afterwards train came and Maharaj and all the monks got up. They got into the train and they started traveling. And one of the monk asked Maharaj, Maharaj, don't you feel annoyed? Were you not annoyed when you received that question from the railway station master? He had his own style. He said, why? Why should I feel annoyed? Why should I feel annoyment? No, Maharaj, because from morning or from yesterday we are all traveling, there was no food and etc. We were all feeling tiredness, and you were also feeling tired, no doubt. Then were you not feeling annoyed at that time? No. Because someone is asking sincerely to know something, and if I do some service here, so by speaking few words, if they get some peace, if they get some happiness, that my life is served, isn't it? We monks, we are for that only. Atmanastu, what you say, our tagline, the motto of the Ramakrishna mission, Jagaditayacha, Atmano Mokshartam Jagaditayacha. That's what we are supposed to do. Then why are you bothering, and why should you get annoyed? Because he didn't know that we have not had a food or not. So probably he might not have thought about it, and he didn't ask it. But why should we get annoyment? Now you see the difference between others and his. He didn't care for himself. He didn't care for his body. He didn't care for his hunger. He didn't care for all other things. But if he can serve someone, if I can bring some peace or happiness, if I can be the instrument in all these things, I feel blessed. So much love again, one side. At the other side, no attachment. When he was there in Hyderabad or in different centers and all, when the headquarters asked to go to the different centers, simply left and he moved to the different centers and all. So they loved the people, and at the same time, they never attached. Probably one more anecdote and I will finish open the question answers Q&A session. It was his 97th birthday in Washington also. I narrated this incident. And his 97th birthday, today also, our most Ved Prajna Maharaj's birthday, Swami Gautamanji's Maharaj's birthday today also. So it was December 15th. So there was a cake cutting ceremony. Cake cutting was over. One monk asked, Maharaj, we have got a prayer. You have to bless us. We have to fulfill our wishes and prayers. Then Maharaj asked, what? That was his 97th birthday. He said, Maharaj, we want to celebrate your centenary. 100th birthday, please bless us. Then he immediately said, no, it is not possible. Then everyone took aback. The whole situation became very gloomy and very serious and tense. That means what? I am not going to live for 100 years. So he's telling that. Then the sadhu who asked, he was feeling a bit uneasy and all. Either he or some other sadhu asked, why Maharaj, you don't want to live for 100 years? He said, no, according to my prarabdha karma, or according to my astrology chart, or according to my prarabdha karma, I was supposed to live. I am supposed to die at the age of 92. But master, he used to address Sri Ramakrishna as a master. My master wanted to do some work through this body. So he gave me 5 years grace period. That grace period is over now. I am going. Then the sadhu says, okay Maharaj, you ask your master to give 3 more years grace period. So that we'll have 100 years. So centenary, then you can think of. But interestingly said, no, it is not that I want, it is his will will prevail. See, even his living is not for himself, not for his sake, not for his own interest or because he wants to do something, work and etc. No, it was his will. Because master's will I am leaving. If the master's will, I will leave. If the master's will that I should leave the body, I should go away, I will leave the body also. Because once we cross 60 plus or 70 plus, or when we become old, we start thinking, oh Lord, I should die peacefully. I should not get a problem to myself and to others and all, which is a very common thing which many of us, we might think. But in his case, neither living or dying, it was no wish for him. It was only master's wish, complete surrender. And he was on one side, he was the greatest Advaita Vedantin. He is known for his greatest Advaita Vedanta on one side. The other side, completely surrender to the master. So this is what I mean, unripened ego. He did so many things and all, but he never cared and all. He was never attached to any of that. He was only attached to the master. So holding on to the master, holding on to the God, and he did all the activities. As a result, every work was were converted into worship. So that work didn't bind him. That work didn't bring suffering or whatever. He was happy at all given point of times. So many times we had heard from his secretary Sudarshan Maharaj that when people used to come with some problems, including monks and all, after talking with them, he used to make a comment, I don't understand why these people are suffering and why these people have got these problems. I don't understand. Then Maharaj used to say, Maharaj, you live in a different level, so you don't understand our problems. He used to make a statement. Now you see, one side, completely detachment. Even his leaving and his passing away, his death is not cared. It's complete detachment. One side, including his own life. And the other side, so much love for the people, love for the humankind, love for the mankind, and etc. So this was love and attachment. We should love people, we should love everyone and anyone, entire humankind, but we should not be attached. That's what we mean. Live in the world, but the worldliness should not be in our mind. So just like a boat on the water. So if we can inculcate few things in our life, definitely wherever we are, we can live happily. I convey my pranams to Maharaj for giving this wonderful opportunity to share my few views with all of you. Thank you.
So one thing I was struggling with is, how can you have a relationship where you're not attached while still maintaining your duties, either as a spouse or a parent or a son, or any kind of relationships involve duties? How do we fulfill those duties without being attached?
Yes. See, actually, this is, I think, this is a common problem and a common question most of us we have. And that's where I always keep saying that there is a fundamental difference between love and attachment. I think I was able to clear. And second thing, we all think that if we are attached, then only we can work. If I am attached to company or if I am attached to my work, then only I can work. Otherwise, there is no force, propelling force for me to work. Not necessarily. Just maybe a simple example is, okay, now I am not attached to my work, but I am passionate. I am passionate about my work. That's why I am doing it. So there, instead of getting attached, I am passionate. So it is a little higher value, higher thinking. So the same thing can be thought over. Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga is the best probably guide for all of us. The first chapter, Karma and its effect on character, if you can read and study it, basically, we get all the answers for this. Now, my thought or my thinking and my working, everything is building my character. It is building my personality. One is success. The other is it is building my character and personality. So I have to be careful about my work. Good work being good things, bad work being bad things, etc., etc. So the attachment actually, it confines our thinking. It confines our manifesting energy, manifesting the divinity, manifesting the energy, and etc. So, but when you love things, so for example, I said the passion. So when you love people and when you love whatever you are doing, you'll be able to do it better actually. So with respect to work. And similarly, I can love my wife. I can love my husband. I can love my parents. I can love my children. But I need not to be attached. Someone asked, probably I can give my own example. When I joined monastery, as you understand or expect, you can imagine that no one will be happy. Most of the parents will not be happy, including my parents were also never happy. My mother came and she was crying and said, "Oh my dear, I thought you will wipe my tears. When you grow, you will start earning and you will wipe my tears, I thought. But you have become the reason for my tears." That's what her statement. It's a common question. Every monk has to face it anyhow. I said, then why did you do this? That's what her question was. I said, Mother, I love you. Even now, I joined monastery, never mind, but I love you. And she said, if you love me, then how can you desert me? I said, I never deserted you. Then what do you mean by this joining monastery? I said, when I was in the house, probably I used to love you alone. Now I am trying to love every lady or woman as a mother, embodiment of mother. So I have taken a vow that I shall try to wipe the tears of so many mothers. So there you are also involved there. Maybe you will have a physical separation, you have to suffer, or you may feel little crying or whatever. I feel sorry for that, I pray for you. But definitely, I want to wipe the tears of many mothers. That's the reason I have taken this decision. Anyway, I'm very sure that she didn't understand at that given point of time. Now you see. That's where we think, if I love, then I have to confine my love for him or her, then only I have to work for them, for him or her. That's what we think actually. That's where attachment comes. But when you start loving people, you will be able to do much more things better than that. Probably I'll give a simple, very quick story you will be able to understand. In a village, there was a temple construction was happening. 3 sculptors were working for that. Then a passerby, a person who came to inspect the temple construction, he approached the first sculptor and he asked, "Oh, what are you doing?" He said, "Are you not able to see? I am preparing the, different idols and the pillars for the temple." Then he said, "Fine, but why do you do?" Oh, he said, "I don't know anything else other than this, and this is what it gives my bread and butter. That's what I'm doing it." He said, "Fine." Then he went to the second sculptor and he asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm preparing the idols and the pillars and whatever is required for the temple." He said, "Fine, why are you doing this?" "Oh, I love this. I love this work. I'm very passionate about this sculpting and other things. That's what I'm doing it." Then he went and asked the same question for the third sculptor. He said, "Oh, because our landlord or the village chief is doing a great work by building a temple, he will definitely, many people get, it is a piece of place, is a place of peace. So many people will get peace in future, and also many people get money, and is a business also will happen, so many things. So in that great work, I have got an opportunity to involve in this great work. That's why I'm doing this work." Now, externally, same work. All the three people are doing same, but the first person is telling, "Because for my bread and butter I am doing it." Like most of us, we think in a selfish way. The second person is telling as a passion. The third person is doing that it is because the betterment of the humanity. He may be also getting money. He is also getting his salary for his job, never mind. But his thinking is much better or much broader way. So this is what we have to think actually. Yeah.
Pranam Swamiji. Welcome to the United States, and I hope you're enjoying your stay here. I have a question about love and attachment and personal God, the upholds. Is there a difference between love towards the personal God, towards your upholds, and attachment to it? And is one better than the other, or there's a line to draw?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, actually, when we say, it is a very interesting question actually. So when you say, "I love the God," whether it is love or attachment. So when it comes with people, generally in the name of love, we get attached. But in the God case, it is not. Now, how to make this distinction? If you are attached to the God and if you are not loving the God, friendism comes in the middle. When you are loving God, you think, but you are attached to God, but you are not really loving God. In the true sense, if that means fanatism can come in. When you are truly loving the God, at the same time you love the God, no, never mind. At the same time, you don't deny other gods, other paths, other religions, and etc. Because love brings unselfishness. Love brings really unselfishness, whereas the attachment brings selfishness. So my God is great. Yes, for me, my God is great. My chosen deity is great. Never mind. But I don't undermine someone's path or someone's, like I am taking Ramakrishna, and you are taking Kali. Someone is taking Jesus. Someone is taking Durga probably. I don't undermine anyone. When you are loving the God, definitely you will accept all that. But if you are attached or you are trying to love the God in a very narrow sense, this is what the fanatism and bigotry and all these things comes into picture. And how to establish this love, how to love. So there I think this is what bhava comes into picture. The bhava is, one is mood. The other meaning of the bhava is what sambandha, that is relationship. So most of us, many times we don't think this. We have to establish, we can increase our love towards God by establishing a relationship with my chosen deity. For example, dasya bhava, the relationship between the master and the servant, Hanuman and Rama we had. Or like Santan bhava, like Mother Yashoda. The relationship between the mother and the son. So like that, in Bhakti Shastra we speak Madhura Bhava, Dasya Bhava, Santana Bhava and all. So like that, I should establish a relationship with my chosen deity. Okay, God is mother or father and I am his son or daughter. Or God is son or daughter, I am the mother or father. So or God is master and I am his servant. So like this, we can practice different bhavas at different times based on my mood and all. But one bhava, we should take it predominantly as per my understanding. That will create more and more intensity in my spiritual practices, japa or meditation, and my devotional practices. So this bhava has to be established.
Hi, Swamiji. Thank you for the class. Could you speak a little bit about how we can balance detachment with compassion when it comes to others' sufferings? So when we are detached from our own suffering, it can seem like spiritual progress. But when we are too detached from others' sufferings, it can seem like we've become less compassionate.
Okay. Yeah. So detachment doesn't mean insensitivity. For example, I am detached from the world, I am detached from things and all, I want only the spiritual realization, so I am only bothering about God and my spiritual practices and all. So I don't care about the world, or I don't care about the people and the suffering. No, that is not spiritual life is. That's not even Vedanta is speaking of. So when I say I should be detached, that doesn't mean that I should be insensitive to my own suffering or to the people's suffering also. Definitely no. So the more on detachment also why detachment has to be practiced, because otherwise if you don't practice detachment, what happens? You get attached. The moment you attach again, your understanding becomes narrowed down. Your love becomes narrowed down, and your calculations, everything will be colored by your mind. Because you love someone, you hate someone, so your mind is colored by all this pair of opposites. As a result, you will not be able to take an objective outlook or objective thing. That's the one point. And the second is, okay, now for an example, I don't know you. Who are you? But I observe that you are suffering. No, but I'm not attached to you. But then should I feel for you, or can I feel? Yes, because you are the Son of God. From the bhakti point of view, or from the jnana point of view, the same spirit or the same self is in you and in you and in me and in everyone. So as a result, as we are all, as butterfly effect, we say that we are all connected, and any small change, good or bad, every one of us, we are getting affected. As a result, it is my prime duty, or it is my duty to help others. So because I'm detached from the world or detached from the people, that doesn't mean that I should be insensible, or I should not care about the world and the sufferings and all. No. If you are detached, actually you can help people better actually. You got my point? Yeah.
Pranam Swamiji. My name is Shekhar. So the story that you told about two devotees and asking their guru, how can I overcome suffering and how can I be happy? I heard some different version of that same story where this troubled householder goes to a spiritual leader, spiritual teacher, and is complaining about all his problems and all. Then teacher asked him, what do you want? He said, I want happiness. So teacher said, okay, write it on the blackboard. I want happiness, he wrote. Then teacher took the duster and erased I and want. So what remains is happiness. So it's the ego, wiping out ego and desire is what, that what remains is happiness. So that's that's a very cute and neat way of understanding that. But my question is it correct to say that the concept of the feeling of me and mine, that's the root cause of all these attachments? And if so, how to overcome that me and mine?
Yeah. So instead of me and mine, we can start saying that we. So there are 2-3 approaches can be taken. So one is from, say for an example, I am little emotional in temperament, or the path of devotion is more suitable for me. If you think, then you can take that, okay, I am the servant of God, and this whole world is His kingdom, His creation. So I am His servant. So I am serving the mankind. I am trying to live in this world because it is His kingdom, His creation. That's a one way of looking into it. And from the bhakti, from the jnana point of view, so everything what exists in the world, the consciousness and consciousness alone exists. Then why to attach? Or whom to attach? Or what to attach? Consciousness and consciousness alone exists. Then why to attach or whom to attach? There is no need of it at all. So these are the two things you can take. The other is the path of karma yoga, the path of selfless action. If you start thinking that, many people we wish to discuss, and quite a few people had asked me. Swami Vivekananda says that through karma yoga also one can reach the God. That how it can possible? So according to me, these are the 2 watchwords of Swami Vivekananda's karma yoga, which runs few lectures, Swamiji's. In that whole series, if you say, there are 2 keywords of Swami Vivekananda's karma yoga. One is unselfishness. The other is the other side of the coin, you can say self-abnegation. Uses the word called self-abnegation. Self-abnegation is not I, but thou. So even, say for an example, I don't believe in God, or devotional practice is difficult, or the path of Jnana is too dry, or it is too high for me. I'm a man of action. I'm very, enterprising in nature, and I can work and I can do service, but not all these things. If this type of statements, we keep hearing it. So even if you think that, yes, if that is my path of karma yoga, yes. So start practicing karma yoga and start practicing self-abnegation. Through that one can get rid of this it's a me and mine. And we can start thinking we actually. Yeah. I didn't know.
Hello. My name is Advaita Resan. My question is, what is love?
Oh. What?
Sex.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Do you love your mother?
No.
Don't you love your mother?
Yes.
Yes. That's what. See, you yourself, you said, that means you know the love. You love your mother, you love your mama, you love your papa, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the same thing, when you turn towards the God, is what the bhakti or the devotion we say. So now I love my mother, I love my father, isn't it? So you know that already, you are practicing it and you are experiencing it. Probably you have to recognize it now, that's all. Just I love my mama, I love my papa. So that's what the love is. You are experiencing it already. Just recognize it.
Pranam Swamiji, my name is Srinivas. I like your analogy of the boat and the water or the river. So I'm thinking a little bit of splashing of worldliness. For example, you can get some of that in the boat. Of course, you want to make sure there's not too much of that. Is that a way that you can manage the worldliness in your life?
No, sorry, I didn't understand your question.
So you said that like the boat stays in the water and you try to not be worldly, correct? Because if water gets too much, water gets into the boat, then the boat will sink, correct? But if there is a little bit of splashing, so worldliness on you, right? And you can tolerate that, and yet you can manage to keep still smooth sailing, let's say. And is that a way to think about it and manage the situations?
Yeah. Little worldliness is there, so little suffering will be there, that's all. Yes, rather I'll put it, I think we not to boggle too much, or we not to simply bother our mind too much thing. Okay, say for an example, the boat is to be in the water, yes, but the water should not enter the boat. Because so that slowly the amount of water increases, it sinks the boat. Okay, so we should not stress the examples the examples should be understood in a particular context and in the particular framework. It should not be stressed too much. That's one thing. So now, okay, I'm living in the world, yes, but worldliness should not be there in me. Yes, yeah, little worldliness, just like water splash, but the boat doesn't sink. So can this also happen to me? Yeah, maybe little things, as Sri Ramakrishna tells, small desires. Small desires. Like for example, I keep telling this. When I go for a walk, I try to avoid particular path. Why that path takes to spar. In the spar, sneakers are there, but the moment I start the sneaker, simply my mind, there's one temptation which I cannot hold on, and simply I'll push in and I'll purchase a sneaker and I'll start eating it. So like this, small petty desires, most of us, many of us, we might have got. These small things doesn't trouble if it is not too much, or if it is not destructive in nature. Small petty things, definitely it should not bother too much, or it should not pull us down too much. So in that sense, you can say that it is splashing water on the boat while we are sailing, it doesn't make us to sink. So can it be also taken? You can say that, yeah. Yeah, gulab jamun or rasgulla, yeah. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.